There's another thing going on over in Colorado, right?
Yes. So in the American Southwest, there's been this thing that has gotten some news attention, but not a ton. And I've just been weirdly into geography at varying points in the past few months. So this caught my attention. If anyone has been to the American Southwest in the past decade, you know that it's in a severe drought, really bad drought. And it's gotten bad enough where the Colorado River has been at risk of actually stopping its flows. The Colorado River runs through Colorado all the way down past the Mexican border. And the basin for the Colorado River supplies water for 40 million plus people, including the metros of Denver, Los Angeles, San Diego, Phoenix, Las Vegas, all of the big cities down there. It also supports a ton of American agriculture, including about 80% of the farming that is done to supply the country in the winter. So this is a big deal. Like, not having water in these places can be catastrophic, not just for the region, but for the whole country as far as food supply.
Do we know how we messed up the projection so bad with how much water we were going to have?
Yeah. So the history here is there are 7 states in the Colorado River Agreement. And this agreement was made in the 1920s. I don't know the exact year. But these are the states that draw water from the basin. And they're California. I hope I can remember all of them. It's California, Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, maybe Utah. Maybe Utah.
I think it's Utah.
And then I cannot remember the 6th one. But the main players, the important characters here. Well, first of all, why are we in drought? So there are 2 reasons. One is there's been over-allocation of the water, because in the 20s, when the agreement was first made, it was made on the basis of data that was taken in about the past 10 to 20 years, which was an unusually wet period.
Of course it was.
Yes. But the weird thing is, and I looked into this deeply enough to know, that scientists knew that at the time.
Whoa.
And all of the stakeholders in the states just wanted to be able to take more water.
Oh, that's a nightmare.
But it's classic America,
that's
right?
Classic.
It's like, don't care about the long-term consequences so that we can have more in the short term.
That's classic.
So that's been contributing to the misallocation. Past that, the other obvious reason is climate change.
Of course.
I mean, we would have naturally been in a drought for about the past 20 years is what geologists are saying, but it's been made about 40% worse because of climate change.
Wow.
Is the estimations.
Science and geology is amazing that we're able to actually understand what percentage of this is due to climate change and the abnormalities of the weather because of that, right?
It is so
That's
cool.
incredible.
Yeah.
But so is there a plan that they're doing to try to fix this?
Yeah. So the politics of this now is California is the lowest basin state. And so there's something, interestingly enough, if you get into geology, you realize how much the government has to be a part of these land and water use rights.
Yeah,
and
sure.
so there's something called the law of the river, which generally gives the most rights, the most amount of water access to states that are at the lowest end of the river basin. So the Colorado River runs north-south, which means California is the state with the right to the most water. So in negotiations, it thus has the most bargaining power. And it doesn't really have to agree to cede any of its water use.
Wow.
So what had happened is the states actually, I think last August, had been told that they need to come up with a plan to reduce water usage because the river was going to be in a drought. But they hit the deadline, passed it, no plan that has come to.
Classic America.
Classic America. And so it doesn't come up into the news again until there's another report that's like, in these 2 lakes, and one I think is at the Hoover Dam, there's something called a dead pool level of the lakes, where that if the water is not a certain amount high, they won't flow through. So it won't flow through the dams.
Oh, geez.
And the river flows will stop. And when that happens, no more water for all this agriculture, no more water for the people of Phoenix, Los Angeles, and all these other cities. And so it comes back and the states are like, okay, now we actually have to get to the table and start doing some work here. And so again, they go back, and at first, 6 of the 7 states are in agreement on a plan for all of them to reduce water use.
Okay.
But California
Oh my God.
is still holding out.
Why?
Because they can. Because they want their golf courses. They want
their almond production. I think it should be legal to plant almonds. You know how much water is used in the farming of almonds? Get them out. And it's not just because I'm allergic, okay?
And they're mostly exported. Like they're not actually necessary for.
How do you know that? That is awesome. You just know. You know our trade deficit in relation to our almond export.
Yeah, I guess so. But so the reason we're bringing this up now, all this stuff had been happening for months and months and months. And about a week and a half ago, the states finally did agree.
Oh, thank God.
And I hate to say that I don't know a ton of specifics besides the agreement is going to reduce water use by about 3 million acre feet over the next 3 years.
I have no understanding of what 3 million acre feet of water looks like.
I know. I imagine it's just like an acre. It's like a foot of water on an acre. It is that volume.
Okay.
So 3 million acres.
I mean, that sounds like a lot of water.
Is a lot.
Okay.
It should be helpful.
Okay.
But it is an interesting story.
And that's going to be that's going to be a political nightmare for a lot of the governors or everything when like they start having to make laws to limit water usage.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure most water usage comes in through industry or agriculture.
That's the thing. Most of it is overused by big agribusinesses.
There you go. That's what I thought.
So
anyway.
but again, we're talking about America. So are they really going to take it out of
how are you going to crack
those
down?
places?
Or are they going to come down on the residential areas? But residential areas don't use that much water. I mean, I was looking at some projections that are like 6% of water usage comes from residential areas and so much is coming from agriculture. It's not even comparable, really.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much water they could claw out of that, but I'm really glad that they came to a deal and were able to work together there because that's really scary.
Yeah. We talked about the water war happening between Iran and Afghanistan last week, and it's right within our borders.
Yeah.
Now.